Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be making this Aeon laser sign for my workshop. It's going to have a couple of different layers on it, so we'll be working on both the layers today. The top one is an MDF layer and the underside one is going to be an acrylic layer. The plan is to light it up with 5mm LED bulbs that I have in the workshop. So to start with, I'm just going to resize the image to the size I want. So along the top toolbar there, you can see there's dimension boxes that you can alter the dimension to suit the size that you need. The height I'm going for is 600mm because my laser is 600 by 900. So what I'm doing now is just creating the circle that I'm going to cut out of the acrylic for the light bulb to fit in. It's 5.2mm just to allow for the bulb to fit in the space. Now that I've got the hole size drawn out, I can adjust the words of Aeon laser to the size I need. So you'll see me adjusting the word a couple of times just so that the circle fits within the letters comfortably. So there's space on either side, all around it basically, so I'm not going to burst through the edges of the letter. So I'm just going to change the colour of that circle to yellow so there's nice contrast between the black and the yellow so it's easier to see, and then I'll double check by dragging it over various parts of the words just to make sure there's plenty of space. So now that I'm happy with the size of everything, what I'm doing here is just changing it from a solid fill to a stroke. That basically means the outside edge. That way I can put the dots or the holes where I want them to be. Now that I'm done with the yellow, I can change it back to black as well, which makes it easier to see. And then I just lay it out, and using the align tools within Inkscape itself, I can space them out, etc. I just copied the whole design there because obviously I need two, ones for the wood and ones for the acrylic. Here you can see I'm just using the node tools, the rotation tools and alignment tools within Inkscape just to place these where I want, and I'll do the same for the Aeon signs after I've done this. It's just a case of copy and pasting until you're happy with the positioning. So now that I'm happy with the positioning of all the holes, I'm going to move on to the MDF shapes. So I just drew a rectangle the same size as my laser and then positioned the different shapes on there just so I had a better idea how much material I was going to use up. I actually rearranged them so I used less material. So it's just a case of playing about until you're happy, and then we jump across onto the laser. So rather than make you watch the whole job cutting it out, I've just jumped across and shown you the different stages in real time. So this is real time cutting. You can see it's handling the 6mm MDF, not a problem. So when I'm cutting 6mm MDF, I like to have the air assist on, obviously to keep the sooty edges down to minimum. Also raise the bed ever so slightly, just so the focal point of the laser is sort of halfway through the board. I just find it gives a much neater cut, a straighter cut as well. But I do say to everybody that asks me for advice, the main thing that you do is you play about, you find these settings that work for your machine, because every single machine is different. Doesn't matter what laser you've got, they're all different. You may find that some lasers have slightly similar tolerances when it comes to cutting, but once you get to know your individual machine, you'll know whether you can step up a couple of millimeters per second for cutting, or you have to maybe lower it. It just depends. There is sweet spots for every single machine out there. Now that that's all cut out, then I'm just going to remove the waste, put that aside. Some of it will get reused, some of it will get binned. I'll try and reuse as much as possible, and then I'll lay it out and show you how it's going to roughly look. So this part of the sign is going to get a matte coat of black acrylic paint, just because the Aeon logo on most stuff is black, so it'll look smart. And then, but like I say, behind it's going to have an acrylic sublayer which will light up and glow with the lights in it. So I'm not going to paint it on camera, I'll do that off camera because it'll probably take a bit of time. I'm hoping you've been able to pick up some tips and tricks from this video. Join me in part 2 where we'll create the acrylic base and then start fitting the lights. As always, if you've liked this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in part 2.